Good afternoon, Edgar. Absolute pleasure to be here with you today, and delighted that you're going to take part in our In Conversation with.
Yes, thanks so much for coming and good afternoon to you.
Lovely. So this is a little bit about understanding a bit more about you, Edgar, and your journey, and how you become such a successful businessman. But before we go into that detail, could you tell us a little bit about your childhood? Really interested in terms of, anything that you want to share with us and our membership.
Yeah, so I'm pretty old, as you can see right now. So, born in a family of 5. I'm the firstborn. I was born in Africa, in Malawi, and growing up in the village was tough. It wasn't very easy. I'm pretty much brought up by a single mom. She was working as a primary school teacher, and she taught us the values of education and working very hard as a route to achieving success. So from primary school, I went to a boarding secondary school, 480 boys in there, in a very cold place. It helped us to toughen up. So when I moved over to the UK, this cold, it was just like a natural adaptation, so which is quite good. And from there I went to study accountancy. So originally I'm a trained accountant, and I walked away from becoming a chartered accountant. I've got 3 papers to finish, and I found that boring, and instead I went to study a master's in business administration. I found that it wasn't the most exciting thing. Then I went on to study project management, which I enjoy each and every single day. So I came over to the UK some 22 years ago, and it was originally to come and do further studies. But afterwards, instead of going back home, I took up the opportunity to do some postgraduate work. And the downside was we couldn't get any work at all in the profession that I am qualified in. And I ended up working as a security guard on a site. And from there, another time, I met one of my business partner now. He's from Somalia. And both of us were working as security guards. And we got really fed up with what was happening to us. And we just said, look, why don't we start a business of our own? And that was the start of the journey.
Wonderful. I mean, what a story. I mean, I like the inspiring story about your mum. That's fantastic. You said that because of what happened to you and your business partner, was that part of your journey then? What actually happened to you and your business partner before you started your own business?
We were both security guards, and it was the treatment. The treatment was, okay, you guys, you're just security guards. Nobody cared about the addition in terms of contribution to the thinking or how the businesses needed to manage, motivate the security guards. There wasn't any of that at all. And I think one of the worst things was being overlooked for opportunities because of how we possibly looked, how they thought that we didn't fit in. Despite us doing a cracking job, that didn't matter at all. So opportunities for progression were not there. We couldn't actually advance. You remained as a security guard, and that was it. Nobody really cared. I think that was one of the reasons why we just got fed up, really, to say we can do better than what we are being subjected to.
Wow, what a story. So, what year was that then when you set your own business?
That was 2007.
And how was it?
It was scary in the beginning, but I think with the determination and knowing that we have got to make this work, we knew that the vision was right. We knew that we had the right motivation to do it, and we started now saying, come on, we're going to give up work. So my business partner Jamal left employment first, and I followed 3 months later. So we're kind of working. You do your night shift, you come home, you sleep a little bit, then you are working on preparing your business plan, and you are crafting some emails, looking for opportunities out there, attending some meetings, and it all pulled through. Looking back, we don't regret making that decision.
And did you get any support, Edgar? I mean, were there any agencies or support from any organisation?
No, we didn't get any. The sad thing is that I think when you're black, you go to the bank looking for any funding, you're just wasting your time. I think that was a kind of feeling, and the way how the banks were conditioned was, right, okay, you need to put up security. Now, I have just started in business. I've got no house. My business partner has got no house. And for you to borrow £10,000, you have to give them security. And we don't have any security at all. So there were those kind of frustration in terms of accessing finance. In terms of accessing advice, we didn't need it. We were complete people, well educated in the business field, in finance. So we didn't need to look elsewhere. We just pulled what we had over a number of years, experiences working in Africa. We drew upon all that, and we just went. The real drawback was the challenges which were there in terms of accessing finance for us to grow the business faster. I think that was a key thing, to grow the business faster.
How long have you been in business, Edgar?
So this is now almost 18 years in business, and during this time we've had some failures as well. We've learned from them, and they have helped us to be better people. We are pretty successful at the minute. We've got a really good business. This business now is 60 million. We started this business from nothing in Hair Hills. We love Hair Hills. We were in a very cold room when we started, with a single desk and a single laptop. We are actually sharing this in trying to get ourselves off the ground. Today we don't need to share any laptop at all. I can sit pretty much anywhere because we've got space.
And just to clarify, what does your business do now?
So the business, when we started supplying security guards, mainly to the construction and infrastructure sector. And over the years, the business has evolved. We're still pretty much doing security, but we've got security, facilities management. We're involved in grounds maintenance, electrical and mechanical engineering, air conditioning. So it's actually evolving. We've got some of the great customers out there.
Edgar, you've already touched on it, but I'd like to ask you two questions. The first question I'd like to ask you is that, you're resilient, and the fact that you have taken your business, despite all those challenges and no support, to where it is now. When you look at the business community now, particularly for all, the ethnic minority communities, has anything changed?
There are some changes which we see. I think there's a lot of spotlighting that is happening at the moment. And that spotlighting, what it does is it is helping to educate the minds out there that the ethnic minorities do not come to the UK to take your benefits or to take your money, your taxes. That's not what we are here for. We are here to work hard, and given an opportunity, like anybody else, we can excel. And that's why now this spotlighting is actually bringing out the best of the ethnic minorities out there. And people now are looking at this to say, hey, they are as good as us, which is a good feeling. And this is where we need to get everybody in the country to achieve this understanding that yes, we might have different skin colors, yes, we might have come from different backgrounds, but we are all human beings endowed with the same ability to succeed. Or what is lacking is, can you level the playing field a little bit better and let the ethnic minorities show you what they are capable of? We can achieve more. If we are achieving under difficult conditions, what more could happen if it was leveled a little bit better than what we are today?
And the second part to the question is, what would you tell your younger self? So let's say, there you are starting off. How would you advise your younger self any differently?
Probably I would say seek out credible mentors out there, because as I've said, we did it without a proper mentorship at all. Looking back, I would think if I had somebody, or Jamal had somebody who added value to what we already knew, we would have accelerated this business to over 100 million a couple of years ago. But because we didn't have that, we did it in our own way as we knew it. It slowed us a little bit. Today, we see, of course, there's so many opportunities, and people are willing to offer mentorship to ethnic minority entrepreneurs out there. I would encourage those who are thinking about starting business today to say, find somebody who can hold your hand, show you the way, let them input in you what you don't know. That's what I would advise my younger self starting out as an entrepreneur today.
Powerful words. And what's next, Edgar? You're still young. You've still got all that fire. You can see you're really passionate about it. What's the next thing?
So I turned 50 last year. I still got a couple of years to go in business, but this won't be forever. But I think where I am now is more of how can I help colleagues who are actually starting out. I'm so passionate about helping the ethnic minority and even everybody who needs to understand and learn what we have done well, that we can pass it over to them. So it's more about helping the next generation, helping colleagues who are in business today. To be an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. There are moments where you feel so lonely. And if you don't have anybody to turn to, anybody who can give you support or hold your hand, or even ask a question to say, what does this mean? If you don't have that person, it is so stressful. It can be very, very depressing. But I want to be one of those people who anybody can actually turn to say, I've got a question, can you give me a piece of advice here? What should I do?
Great. Noble thoughts, and delighted that you're on the Northern Powerhouse Ethnic Minority Business and Policy Forum, because we need more of that. Thank you so much, Edgar, for your time today.
Thank you, you're welcome.